As a matter of factor for Indonesia, the most important thing is foreign direct investment or FDI, not domestic direct investment or DDI. Because of the total investment in the country, more than 50% was contributed by FDI. So according to the Investment Coordinating Board data released on Wednesday, foreign direct investment into Indonesia in 2019 fell short of the target, as it was quite significant. How was it? Let's check the first data. This is the Indonesia FDI realization from year to year, from 2017 and to 2019. In 2017, the amount of FDI realization reaching 430.5 trillion rupiah, but the number was decreased to the number of 192.7 trillion rupiah. But the number improving in 2019, the FDI realization as much as 423.1 trillion rupiah. This one is taken from BKPM's data. In conversion to US dollar, Indonesia booked a total of 28.2 billion US dollar incoming FDI, excluding investment in banking and oil and gas sectors. This represented 87.5% of target. The BKPM's target for 2020 is to get 886 trillion rupiah, equal as 64.96 billion US dollar of investment. This means around 55% of which would be from foreign companies. Therefore, Indonesia needs more investment to come in upcoming 2020, moreover from outside the country. Until now, peering at the origin of the country investing in Indonesia, Singapore is still the champion. Let's see on how much Singapore has invested so far to Indonesia through the next graphic. This is Indonesia-Singapore investment realization in billion US dollar in 2017, as much as 8.4 billion US dollar. The amount of investment from Singapore invested in Indonesia in 2018, 6.5 billion US dollar. But in 2019, the number was increased to 9.19 billion US dollar. Is it true that Indonesia-Singapore relations are underpinned by strong economic cooperation? Singapore and Indonesia have accomplished much together in the last few years and can do much more together for the long-term benefit of their people. Singapore remained the largest foreign investor in Indonesia during last year, with investments of 9.19 billion US dollar. According to the latest investment data issued by the Investment Coordinating Board, or BKPM, on Wednesday, we may wonder on how many the total projects have been done by both countries. Therefore, without further ado, let's check the next graphic. This is the amount of the total number of Singapore project, or Indonesia and Singapore total project in 2017, as much as almost 6,000 projects. In 2018, almost 5,000 projects, and in 2019, as much as 7,020 projects from Singapore invested in Indonesia in 2019. Indeed, Singapore is Indonesia's top foreign investor by comprising more than 7,000 projects during 2019, as bilateral trade reached more than 9 billion US dollar in 2019. Singapore has been the top foreign investor in Indonesia since 2014. Both countries also have substantive cooperative across a wide range of sectors, including education, culture, defense, and the environment. As we know that Singapore is the leading investor, and how about other countries that invest huge deal of money too in Indonesia? Here we will bring you some data about 5 countries with the largest investment in Indonesia. As you can see, after Singapore, we've got China, as much as 4.74 billion US dollar. After China, we have Japan in number 3, as much as 4.31 billion US dollar. Singapore number 1, of course. After Japan, we have Hong Kong, as much as 2.89 billion US dollar, and Netherlands, as much as 2.59 billion US dollar. Throughout 2019, China was the second biggest source after Singapore. Chinese investment boosted the number, with mainland China and Hong Kong being the top sources of FDI. Even better, China surpassed Japan in the position of 2 countries with the largest investment realization in Indonesia. So how about the portion of each country in contributing to Indonesia's FDI realization as a whole? Let's check it through the next graphic. The FDI realization in Indonesia, the total is 31 billion US dollar to be exact. So China contributed as much as 16.8%. and Japan as much as 15.3%, Hong Kong 10.2%, Singapore, the biggest country, or the country with the biggest investment realization, Indonesia, contributed as much as 23.1%, and Netherlands contributed 9.2% of the FDI realization in Indonesia in 2019. So the biggest portion is mainly explained by intra-ASEAN investments, mostly from Singapore, by 23%. One of the biggest projects was in infrastructure, especially for the new segments of the Jakarta Light Rail Transit. The good news is that Indonesia lowered the minimum equity requirement for foreign investors and abolished the approval requirement for several business transactions involving foreign investors. The Indonesian government was able to improve the overall atmosphere of the market in 2019 by consolidating political and economic stability and through structural reforms that have removed some investment risk. So, however, several obstacles remain, such as the rising cost of credit, excessive and unpredictable regulation, and the poor quality of infrastructure. In the long term, however, Indonesia's current economic situation, as it is getting better, may be the right time to invest in the country. Stay tuned on Market Alliance because we'll be right back after the break.